I had no expectation with respect to my interview with James Coburn. I thought of him as a fine actor with an amazing voice. Then he started speaking to me about his meditative device, which involved the use of gongs. So we did a radio show, which involved his voice and the sound of the gong. And it resonated beyond anyone's expectations.
How are you?
I'm fine, man. How are you?
Everything is working.
Yeah, great.
It's always so difficult when getting into these subjects that we're going to talk about tonight to find a spot, to find a hook or a way of beginning our communication. Let me be very specific. What is it that you're looking for in life, Jim? What is it that you are personally seeking in terms of your own being?
My aim has been for, I guess a dozen years or so, is to try to become more conscious. There are many ways of becoming more conscious. I mean, the idea of consciousness itself, I mean, I assume everyone feels that they are conscious. Well, I guess we are to a certain degree, but to become more conscious, to fulfill a potentiality that we all have to a greater degree is my aim currently, and probably will be for my next 3 or 4 incarnations.
Why? Why do you feel the desire to do that? Why would you not just kind of lean back and enjoy it? You're obviously in a position to do just about anything you want on a material, overt level. What is it that makes you want to go beyond speedboats and Cessnas?
Well, we're obviously for a reason. I haven't discovered what the reason is yet, but I'm looking. I'm a seeker after the truth. I mean, it excites me to think about what the mysteries behind life are, and how maybe to get in touch with some of them, and maybe turn myself on to a degree that I don't know anything about right now. I find that I feel very stupid in when I'm relating to people on other levels. I mean, we have several friends, and I brain pick them. They come over to the house, and we rap about all the various esoteric subjects that there are, and hoping that some of that will rub off, a new idea will come about, something that'll touch my soul. Maybe somebody can lay a magic hand on my head and I'll become completely enlightened and all of that. But that's all just hope and fun, and I enjoy those people a lot. But I really don't feel that any of them can give you anything. All of the systems work. I find that if you practice any of the, esoteric systems, they all work. I mean, if your approach is through the Zen means, that works. So Spinsky, Gurdjieff, that all works. The Sufis work. Even Catholicism works if you know how to get in touch with the magic. Judaism, they all work. But they're only part of it. They're only really just a very small fragment of the totality. And we're all sitting here shining like dull diamonds with, like 1 or 2 facets blasting away, and we think that that's all we are. Well, there's more light there than we're really aware of. And that's simply my quest, is to find out what turns those lights on and to turn them on. Like, it's one thing to wake up, but another to face the day.
You said something interesting. You were like going through that litany of things that do work. And I think your line was, it all works if you can touch the magic. Speak to us a bit about what you mean by that. Touch the magic.
Well, it seems that in most of these, the magic, when I think of magic, I think of the fire behind something. In most of our Western religions, it seems that the magic has all been rooted out. I mean, they had the witch hunts and everything, and I don't know the dates behind all of these things, but the magic was taken out of the Catholic Church, or at least set aside someplace. Maybe there's a great magician sitting somewhere in the Vatican that has access to all of that knowledge, and he performs his little rites there. The Tibetans have magic. I've seen them perform all sorts of... I went to a yoga conference just a year ago, last Christmas, 3 days before Christmas, in New Delhi.
Really?
It was the first scientific yoga conference. And it was like all of the sadhus came down from the hills and all of the great teachers from all around. A lot of the psychiatrists, psychologists, the Western, guys who are interested in mind and so on, were all there, and they were all exchanging their wares. And I guess it was the last day, the day before the last day, I guess it was the second or third day of the conference. There was a Tibetan named Guru Lama who did a puja to the slaying of the ego. He had a little drum. It looked like an hourglass with two little tassels that hung down from the side, and he twisted it. And when he twisted it, the tongs would spin the little balls around. It would go boom, boom, and have a little tone on the drum, two-tone drum. He had a thigh bone trumpet, a bell, and a little doja, which is a little, they call it thunderbolt. And he chanted. And it was an hour puja. And he had 300 people in this classroom completely on his trip. Everyone was just so focused in, it was beautiful. And in the midst of this, a flash hit me over the head. It was like I got hit over the head with a hammer. And it's only happened one other time with a Sufi in Tangier. But this was totally unexpected because I really know very little about the Tibetan yoga, the Mahayana yoga, the Mahayana Tibetan yoga. And afterwards, I invited him up to my hotel. And he was Mr. Sweetheart. He was just so beautiful. And he was telling me that he was building, since they'd moved down from Tibet, they were having to build a new lamasery. That's great. Well, how much does it take to build a lamasery? He says, $2,000. I thought, $2,000 you can build a whole lamasery. So I laid some bread on him, and he was really, really thankful for that. And so he went up, and I understand now that they've got the lamasery almost built.
Great.
And that was really beautiful because he came over to the house, and we'd recorded the puja, and we played some for him over the thing, and he sat there listening to it with a great smile on his face. I couldn't communicate with him in any way except just kind of look at him and smile, and he would beam back this beautiful smile that was out there. He ate meat, we had a Chinese dinner up there, and he drank some wine with us, and was really a great human being. We had a really marvelous time. Well, anyway, I kind of got off on the subject of, but see, like he has some magic. He turned something on inside me that I still remember, that's still there. He made me more conscious of that moment by shocking me through this magic that he was performing. And I'm sure everyone at the conference felt that same thing, if not probably to a lesser degree, because it hit me so hard. It just snapped me right around.
More about the magic. Because I think that was taking us somewhere, and I'd like to explore that magic.
Well, it seems that the Tibetans have not given their magic up. What they're doing now is spreading it about. Now, to identify it, I can't do it, but he could, and there are many that come down from the mountains, and they live in a very rarefied atmosphere, most of them. They're all human beings. In fact, they think that we're very magic because we can make cars.
It's a great thought.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful.
It's really
like that. We have a lot of magic that we're completely unaware of. We have a Western technology that we've developed that people tend to put down because it's being used so badly. But they think that that's real magic. Now, somehow we can get together with these people. Like the people that have the real knowledge that turns into magic. Magic, in my definition of it, is just something that can transform. It's alchemy. It's all of those things. Witches have magic. The black magic, they call it. Well, magic is magic. It depends on how it's used. If you're an evil man and you do evil things to people, and there are some good men.
If I could quickly insert that you're of course referring within the framework of a magical abstract discussion as opposed to making a specific allegation.
Oh yes, certainly, absolutely.
Just so we'll both not be called to court together.
No, the magic. The magic in Zen, for instance. I mean,
Yes.
like you're familiar with that.
Yes.
I mean, you're familiar with that transformation that takes place. That some of the Zen people have it, some of them don't. Some of them give it, some of them don't. It's a question of being able to not understand it so much, but be open to it. I mean, it doesn't seem to be so much the thing that you do, it's something that you don't do, so that it'll infect you with its glory, which it really is. I mean, like it's a shot of liquid consciousness. It's a chemical thing that happens on an electrochemical basis. I mean, the Sufis go through a whole different thing. The only other time this has ever happened to me was a great Sufi who I worked with for a brief period of time before his death in Tangier, Iqbal Ali Shah, Indra Shah's father.
Uh-huh.
He wrote the books, the
Sure,
Sufis and all
sure.
of those things that have been coming out. And one day we were sitting in his thing, and we were going through what he called seances. They were just meditative exercises in which we kind of went out of ourselves and floated around the skies while he was filling us full of this energy. And you could actually see it in your, with our eyes closed, we were saying the thing. And
Are you talking actually about an out-of-body experience? Or
yeah,
You are.
Well, it's I don't know. Maybe it's only in the imagination. I don't know. But from the vantage point that I had, I was able to look down and
see yourself
see
sitting there.
myself and the three of us, my wife Beverly and Mushed and myself sitting there, and this triangle of blue light was passing between us, going right from heart to heart to heart
Wow.
to heart to heart to heart. And one day when we were doing this, the very same thing happened. When I was up there watching all of this, a flash, it was like an explosion going on, boom, and I was down again. And I asked him, I told him, "Whew, that was a very heavy dose." He said, "What?" Yeah, he laughed at me and he said, "Yeah, well, maybe I gave you a little bit too much there, son." And I thought he was.
Can one receive the magic from someone who's not conscious of giving it? And we could
You
substitute.
mean like an accident of some kind? Well, I think everybody's kind of has these accidental magical experiences.
I don't mean quite accidental. It's similar to the old question: can you love someone who is incapable or refuses to love you in return? Can you get magic from someone who is not aware of their ability, not aware of their powers, even refuses to come to grips with it? Have you gotten those kind of contact highs from people who are not into any of the stuff of which we speak?
But you know that Catherine Kuhlman?
Yes.
She claims she doesn't know what happened. She doesn't have any idea. She just goes out there and preaches the word of God, and it all comes down.
You did
I mean,
the
like-
Dick Cavett show with her a few weeks ago. I remember.
Yeah, and she was very interesting to observe. And
Did
but
you get
she
it
has
from her?
well. See, this is kind of like those mediums that you hear about all the time. You know
Right.
that people can. Well, the thing that happens to them, they just become a vessel for something else. They have no control over what they do. They just seem to have an opening that they can somehow turn on, and through them comes this other being or so on.
It's
and
a
seances
great
and everything.
expression. They become a vessel for something else. That's
Yeah.
magnificent.
Right. So now that's what she claims she is. She's simply a vessel for some other force. I mean, and she calls it Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And because that's the thing she's the most familiar with, I imagine. If she was living in India, she would call it Shiva or Krishna or whatever. But
I must tell you something interesting about Catherine Kuhlman. I did a special on her once here, months and months ago, and I went to the Hollywood Palladium, where she was having a miracle service for youth.
Mhm.
And she packed the place in 20 minutes with, most of them were 18-year-old white male long-haired San Fernando Valley kids with drug problems.
yeah.
And again, she walked around and did the laying on of hands. Hundreds and hundreds of people, everyone she touched, collapsed in the arms of professional catchers who stand behind her to catch these people. And every now and then her arm would rub up against one of the catchers and he would go out. And it happened with every single person she touched. I was there with a tape recorder. I would have gone out
Wow.
myself. And one of the remarkable things about faith healers in general, that it's so easy to write off the Catherine Colemans and the Oral Roberts for psychological reasons and the rest of it. There was an experiment done in Chicago recently with 50 white mice, all of which were injected with live cancer serum. And there is and I can document this story for people who send me postcards. And there's a very well-known faith healer traveling through the South who they brought to Chicago. Of the 50 white mice, of the 50 white mice injected with the cancer serum, the faith healer placed his hands over 25 of the mice. The 25 mice who he touched lived. The 25 mice who he did not touch died of cancer within a matter of 14 days incubation. And I thought that was trippy. My guest is James Coburn. Jim,
Yeah.
how do we bring it all home? I mean, the folks who are listening to us right now who say, yeah, all of that sounds really marvelous and mystical and beautiful and poetic, but how do we relate that to daily life? How do we relate that to the one-to-one experience?
How do we do it right? That's the whole point of the whole thing. As I said, like all of this stuff works, and it depends on what your aim really is. If you want to be a saint, then you start out and make yourself a saint. I mean, Milarepa did that. He had to go through all the numbers. But how do we apply all of this stuff that, like is coming out now? We have more access to information, and there seems to be a teacher around every corner. And everybody wants to turn you on to some new technique that it'll, raise you up out of this morass that we seem to find ourselves in. Well, for the steps are very simple. First, you have to take that first step of deciding, just kind of taking that first breath and say, well, like I am here for some other reason than to be a mechanic or a race car driver or something else. I mean, like there's a purpose for my existence here. I'm a little protoplasmic unity that needs regenerating every so many hours, and I can only seem to bring myself up to a certain point. And after that, I kind of collapse and fall down and lay down and smoke a joint or, have a glass of booze and get out of it and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to perpetuate that desire, I mean, some kind of technique is necessary, and you have to go to somebody who knows how to give you a technique. I mean, and, if you have a priest, you go to a priest and say, well, listen, how do I bring myself up? Or if you're interested in the yogi magic, then you go to, well, there are a lot of yogis around. You go to one of those guys, or you go to somebody who's has had experience.
Mm-hmm.
The psychedelic experience has turned a lot of people on to, other levels of perception. And so you make a step. You say, okay, I'm going to find out what Zen is all about. So you read all the books, and you don't understand any of it, and you find somebody who can, the poetry is nice, and the paintings are really marvelous, but what does it all mean? And you ask somebody, well, what does it all mean? And they say, that's Zen.
Right.
And
Right.
well, which is great, because it shocks open all of those particles that have been crystallized in your head, and you say, I can't think about that. I say, well,
There you are.
try to associate that painting with the koan and yourself, and just see what happens. Nothing happens. Well, try again. Nothing happens. Well, then try a little meditation on the koan. You just sit down and you think about it, or you try to realize it some way. Okay, I mean, no success. I mean, like, it's just a very good thing. Okay, you read a little Vivekananda or Satchitananda, and you read the thing, and maybe you will run across somebody who'll give you a mantram, and you go ahead and you do the thing. And maybe you'll have a little success there. Maybe something changes, something alters. The slightest thing, you think, oh, great. Okay, then if you find somebody that kind of does something to it, if it's an emotional reaction, if you can feel an emotional attachment to this person or to the idea or whatever, maybe you can recognize what love is a little bit more. I mean, and it's all based on love. Love is the energy that makes it all work. Whether
It's all based on love.
It's all. That's the energy that makes it work. The rest of it is
Love of what?
love. I mean, the understanding of love, and it's a sensation, it's an understanding, it's a total experience. The Sufis base the whole thing on love of man for woman and woman for man. that's necessary before any of their magic works.
Is that it for you, too? I mean,
Yeah.
is that the core of your experience,
Oh,
love
yeah.
for a woman?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I find it very difficult to do anything but appreciate an idol. I mean, I can understand the idea behind it. I can sit in front of it and meditate and hope that it's, like all the attention that it's received from the many ages that it's existed can, maybe shed some light on it. But I can't appreciate that. I can't really love that like I can a woman, my wife.
Is that experience, the love that you share with Beverly, highest than anything else that you're into or anything else you've ever been through?
Well, it is kind of like that energy is what you use to raise yourself. I mean, like, that's the end. I mean, like, if it's not there, you can't manufacture it. You can't say that it is there.
So
If it's not there, you have to find another emblem. You have to find an emblem. Rumi, who was a great Sufi poet, found it in Shams de Tabriz, who was a weird old dervish who walked around, saying all kinds of bad things about everybody, but who knew.
Yeah.
And he and Rumi went away and lived together for, like 3 or 4 years. And Rumi left his whole school behind. And he was, like Magister Ludi. And he dashed off with Shams, and they had this fantastic esoteric experience together. Until it really got physically dangerous for them, and then they had to separate and do their thing. But it was an esoteric experience. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people read in a lot of homosexual kind of numbers and everything, but there was a love between them that transcended all of that physicality. Now, the great thing about woman is that you can have a relationship on all levels. I mean, like like the highest level, of course, is to be completely, totally plugged in, mentally, physically,
Sure.
emotionally, and so on, which is really rare, and that's something you have to work on. And it's not possible all the time. I think what we all look for is something that's possible all the time. We just turn us on, and there we are, there all the time. It's not like that. It's like the breathing in and the breathing out process. It's cyclical. It moves and it grows. Without that movement, there's no growth. You got to have that movement. So you can't despair when it's not there. You place your attention to what that makes it come about again.
Let me just take a break and do some commercials.
Sure, go ahead.
I'd also like to get into the very, very special method that you use, or one of your methods.
Okay.
Just before I do that, and you don't have to answer this question if you don't wish, but I am curious, and I'm sure there are many people listening to us now who are too. Have you taken much LSD? Have you taken much acid?
I've taken acid maybe 5-6 times. I took it with Dr. Janiger, like 1958 or something, when he was doing all the experimentation for the government.
And we should also mention that at the time you took it with him, it was legal, so neither of you were violating the law.
Yeah. I mean, it was really, I took it because I wanted to use it as a gauge for my consciousness. I was interested then in where I was on what conscious level that I was on. I was into the Ouspensky and the Gurdjieff.
You went to Gurdjieff then?
Yeah. Well, the work permeates most of my. I mean, it's really a basis, a standard that I work from now. I mean, like, it's always something because it works really well. Practice of the placement of attention.
Yes.
And the evolution, the idea that man is a self-evolving creature, which is basically true, I believe, and that you can do it.
Are you glad you took your LSD? I mean, do you think the experience was beneficial for you then, or was it nebulous, or would you rather not have taken it, or?
No, I think it was, for me, it was a very good experience because I went in with an aim. There was no fear, there was no anxiety, there was just an experience that I felt that I wanted to have. And Janiger, he was beautiful, he just said, well, here, you're going up to a certain land, and we don't really know what it is. Everybody kind of goes up there, and they all come back again, and there's always a little alteration, so... and there was a lot of alteration.
Oh, well, I remember. Hang on just a second, Jimmy. I'll take care of some business. Alrighty, if you're just joining us, my guest is James Coburn, and you're listening to him over KLOS, Los Angeles, 95.5 FM stereo on your radio. My name is Elliot Mintz, and I'll be with you tonight till midnight. And in an hour or two, we're going to open telephones, and you're going to have an opportunity to call up and of course, offer your thoughts about anything that happens to be in your head. Let me take care of 2 bits of business, and then we'll get right back to our guests. Gongs. How did you get involved in gongs, Jim? How did that start?
My gong guru is a beautiful man. He's Dick Webster. I used to live behind the Hamburger Hamlet when I first met him, and we experienced a lot of things together. And he was instrumental in getting the Aware In going. He was the inspiration behind Jim Baker. When
Before Jim Baker, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, they were partners, and Dick wanted to make it a vegetarian restaurant, and Jim thought it would probably be more commercial, and as it proved out to be right, if the Aware In, and it became a very big success. Well, anyway, Dick and I have had a long history of really interesting experiences together, and I hadn't seen him for a long time, and he was living out in Lancaster in a little hut that he had, he and his old lady, and I drove out there. I just gotten a Ferrari, Ferrari sports car, Spider, short wheelbase, fast. I was going to go out there and see Dick, and so my old lady and I got in the car and went out to see Dick in Lancaster, and we walked in the place, and he made us some tea, and we sat down, and I looked over in the corner, and I said, "What's that?" And he walked over there and sat down in front of it and played it, and then I went over and played it, and we spent the whole afternoon playing the gong. We didn't say 10 words to each other. The chicks were in the other room, listening, and, but
He didn't explain anything to you?
No. Well, there's nothing to explain about a gong. You just approach it, you sit down in front of it, and you strike it. And then you strike it again, and it's different. And somehow you're a little different. And then pretty soon you have a relationship. You start having a relationship with that hunk of metal there that it's like a meditation. Because it plays itself. I mean, it's just like you're opening the song that it has to sing by striking it.
You're opening the song that it has to sing. That's lovely.
It's beautiful, and see, the great thing about the gong is that everyone can play it. You just have to sit down and do it, like everything else. Only you get an immediate thing here. And here, like I don't know if it's probably nothing more than just if it doesn't do anything but release the tension and take your attention and place it someplace that's away from the mundane kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I play it, just about every day. Last night, in fact, Alan Watts was over the other night.
Was he? He was here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, this was about a week and a half ago, I guess.
Huh.
He came. He was doing some, lecturing down here or something.
Yeah, he's an incredible man. Just
beautiful. Well, I played the gong and he chanted a benediction for a new Buddha that we had, a Buddha that we had there. We got in Thailand, and it was great. It was a really great experience.
I knew there was a reason why the rain stopped today.
Yeah. We played the gong loud last night. We did it.
Did he chant to the sound of the gong, or did he just get into his own om?
No, what he said just play a steady rhythm on the thing, a steady thing. And he was sitting right here, and I was with my back to him, and it was all like it all became a very beautiful thing. It all happened like it. The gong was really part of the ceremony.
Great.
And we all had a great feeling after that. It was just the thing was really necessary for the kind of gathering we had.
Well, looky here, Jim. It just so happens that we have one here. We have broken the KLOS Sunday night budget this week by renting this gong and brought it down. First of all, just for the people who are listening to us and can't see the gong, could you describe it? Because I have difficulty describing musical instruments. I'm not familiar with them. What are we looking at here?
Well, it's an alloy. This particular gong is made in West Germany, I believe. I have one very similar to it. It's an alloy. Looks like a little copper and brass, and it's in 3 pieces. And it's made from an old formula from Burma. I don't know where the Germans got this formula, but they ever went down, and evidently there was somebody who was really interested in gongs and went down there and got the formula and took it back to Germany and started making these gongs. I don't know who the guy is that makes them, but I have one. Dick's is just exactly like this. And mine is a little larger. It's about, I guess, what would that be, 28 inches. Mine's about 33 or 34 inches.
When you say 28 inches, you mean 28 inches across? Is
Yeah.
it like a high-fidelity speaker?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's suspended from a rim?
Yeah, well, that's the rack.
Right.
Generally, mine's suspended on a wooden rack that Dick gave me.
How much do they usually weigh?
I don't know what the weight of it. I guess probably 3 or 4 pounds, maybe 5 pounds. I have a Burmese gong that weighs probably 20 pounds. It's shaped like a hat, flat, and you strike it and it sings for about, I guess, a minute. It'll sing for a minute.
I have an idea, because we've talked so much about it, and with things like this, the best thing to do is experience it. Let's take a break, play some music so we can set up some stereo microphones behind it.
Okay, we'll
and
see if we can get
return
any sound out of it.
and see
We
what
only
we
have
can.
that one mallet. That's really, but
Is
maybe
there
I can
anything else
play
we could
something on it.
use as a mallet, maybe in the building? Any thought come to mind? The
I
stick?
really doubt it.
Unless we just go out in the parking lot, there's some shrubbery out there, and we could take a stick.
No, what I play with generally is some either timpani mallets or xylophone mallets, soft mallets where you don't really hear the mallets hitting themselves.
What the mallet that we have here? What is different about that than the one you usually use?
Well, this is a gong mallet, and it's used simply for striking it, not for playing it.
I see.
And I can play rhythms and things like that on it, but you really can't get the texture out of it because you kind of get the thing going, and it starts singing, and then with just pressure on these mallets themselves, as you kind of what would be on a drum, a roll, kind of like a slow roll. You build up the sound, and then you build different textures, layers of sound. Whang, you accent a little bit, and it picks it up and vibrates throughout the thing. You can pick up these overtones and play on various levels of it, and it's really a lot of fun.
Let's take a break, see what we can find in the building,
Okay.
and come back and do some of it.
Okay.
We're here with James Coburn. Jim is at the moment on the floor here at the KLOS studio. We have placed some microphones alongside the gong, one in front of it, one behind it. If you have stereo, you should hear perhaps the initial sound through one channel and the reverberation through the other. Jim, the radio station is yours. What would you like to do?
Well, let's see what happens. I don't know really what's going to happen here, but this is a concert gong, and it's generally struck like this. Sound that's going on inside there. But I only have one mallet here, and it's quite a large gong striker. And we'll see what can happen here. Maybe we can get something going. Anybody's eardrums.
I don't know what that was. I had my eyes closed. Are we okay? Is everything cool? Yeah, just go ahead. Oh, I see. Next door they're doing the ABC Network News, and think we were just reaching Chicago. Gee, I didn't know it went through the wall. I hadn't. Let's do it again.
Really a nice gong. I wish I had that.
How long does it resonate, Jim? When you strike it once, what is the usual time that some sound emits from the gong?
You mean the duration of the duration of?
Of the echo.
I don't know. You want to hear? You want to try?
Yeah, not too loud so we don't bug the neighbors.
I mean, it doesn't. About the same.
It's just a little over 30 seconds.
It's still humming. Yeah, it's got a great song. I mean, why don't you try it?
Okay, let me get down there. Let me take the earphones out. Let me get near a microphone. There is... You can be on those microphones, Jim, up there.
Okay.
Again, I assume that there is no way to do this, that you just...
You just do it. I mean, you just hit it, and you play the thing as it happens.
All right.
If you have two hands going, I was trying to play with my fingers, but it...
Yeah, how did you... Is it a question of tapping it with your fingertips?
Yeah, just, try it with the fingers, see what happens with it.
First, I want to hit it. I have a
Okay.
desire to strike it. Everybody does. You said on one of the late-night talk shows that some people regard it as being something ominous and just attempt to avoid it, but
Yeah.
I feel like striking it.
Yeah, well, everyone seems to approach the gong a little differently. Some people like to, go up and strike it with with a lot of vengeance and hostility and so on, and then they get softer. And then those that come to it very lightly and toy around with it like it's going to bite them or something, eventually get very free and confident and end up playing really loud.
I can't wait to do this. I feel like a little kid. Let me steer this. The gong. That's really nice.
Hit it once. You didn't really hit it. Hit it right here, just below the...
With the mallet?
Yeah. you generally do is strike it once with a big one to kind of get it going, get the motor of it.
Okay, let me stop it. It's interesting, tactily, to touch it
Yeah,
while it's
it feels
vibrating, because
great.
it really feels like... I know what it feels like. It feels... Barney, Louise, you should touch it too. It feels like it's alive.
It is alive.
But I mean, it really feels like it's alive. It feels like a human being. Touch it. Wait till I tap it, and then you can touch it. And I'll give you a pretty good one. See if we can reach New Orleans.
Don't hit the center, though. Hit just a little off center.
Now we should try it without touching it, because that stops it from gonging it. But isn't that the effect that it creates?
See how it builds after the thing? It soars. I wish everyone had a gong, because it's so much fun. It really is. I mean, like, would you like to have a gong in your apartment or?
I don't think Manny's equipment rental is going to get this one back. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with James Coburn and the gong. I thought it might be interesting, now that we have familiarized ourselves somewhat with the gong, and I'm sure for many of you, as is the case for myself, this is a very unique experience, just a delightful thing. We've already had a dozen telephone calls from people wanting to know where to get them, where to buy them, where to rent them, and the like. I think I'm going to have to go out and get one myself. Okay, let's do this. I thought we would take, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, or 5 hours or 2 seconds, or whatever it takes. And I'm just going to let Jim do whatever he cares to do with the gong. And we'll all be quiet here, or we'll chant, if so be the case. And you at home, perhaps right now, if you really want to participate in this experience or experiment, you might dim the lights in your house, or perhaps light a candle, and close your eyes, and just see where it takes you. See where you go with it. Let's do it.
We give it. We then give it. I will. Have lots of position. After I might actually that, and also well, all we're doing. More forward, blindfold. Right on. Teachers with hard and they're I think sexual.
All still consent. Does. Overcoming that.
We involve might be a boyfriend. Ask them to. We in a station. Real disease. How does it happen? Condom is a okay. Tender. Yes. George, that maybe and done by this doctor's afraid that the center is affected. Playing it. Do something.
Pregnancy.
Yeah. Thing,
Mr. Black.
thank you, Mr.
From the executive. We're going to continue. Eine Gehalt.
We'll be right back. I hate to do that sometimes when people call it. Barney, could you go inside and take that call? Somebody is with KVAN radio in Portland, Oregon, who says he's hearing us. So I think that should be tracked down. We go by cable, apparently, to Yuma, Arizona, but I didn't know we were in Portland. For those of you who were just joining us, who picked up KLOS during the last 15 minutes, what you heard was just an extraordinary experience with the gong, performed for us live here by James Coburn. And during the last cut of music, I was just relating to Jim how absolutely incredible that was. I mean, that was just such an immaculate high. I can't. Does that do for you what it's done for everybody in this room?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, like, well, I don't know. I just really feel energized now. It is somehow, it shatters all the negative vibrations that go around you and lets in some purity of something or other. And I really get very high playing those things.
I feel stoned out behind
Yeah.
it. I mean, just so slowed down and laid back. And I've never had that experience off of a musical instrument. And I'm trying, even though I shouldn't intellectualize or verbalize the experience, I'm trying to understand why that has just done it for me more than any guitar, sitar, organ, clarinet, whatever. Why that? Have you ever figured?
I think it's because it's probably as pure an instrument as you can. It requires no technique at all to play. It just is a song, that it's in it. That those Germans that got the formula, that locked somewhere inside there is somebody that really wants to sing. I don't know what it is. It's just, I mean, I feel the same way you. I can't explain it. I just I like the experience of it, and I wish that more people would get gongs and get their gong off.
I think we've moved about 100 gongs tonight. I can't thank you enough for being with us tonight. This has just been one of the most joyous evenings we've spent here at KLOS, and I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Elliot. I've enjoyed it, too. I mean, anytime I can go any place and play the gong, you know it's going to be a good time for me.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
We'll be right back after this.